Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. It is episode 749. That's right, 749. I am here, so talented and beautiful. Aria Lee, I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
No, the honor's all mine. If I butcher your name, I do apologize. I have it on text to speech, so it pronounces it for me. So it comes out in different variations of names.
Mhm.
So, with that being said, first thing I want to point out is for people who want to know what my talk show is about, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities that never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Is to prove to them and get still mouth something. So hashtag break the labels. That being said, it's going to be 28 minutes of your time. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want to. Freedom speech, self-expressing. Freedom speech, self-expressing. It is uncensored, but remember, it's PG 13. But with that being said, yes, uncensored, as you have every right to say whatever you like. And the first question I want to ask you is, how you been during quarantine?
Oh, I've been holding up pretty well, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I have definitely had my moments where I really just sort of broke down a little bit. I think we all sort of had those moments during quarantine, and I think those moments are probably one of the most important moments because it's in the end where you come into realization that it really is going to be okay. And we really just have to try our best to get through this. This is really just hard for everybody. But yeah, and I mean things I've just been really productive during quarantine too. Like I always have to stay busy. Like I can't just be sitting around all day. I'm not that type of person that just likes to do that. Um, very high respect to people who can do that all day though. Like that takes serious skill, I feel like. But um, yeah, I've been staying really busy. I love to do art. I mean, I've definitely been doing a lot of makeup and I've been doing lots of um, you know, like virtual camps and things like that to keep me busy as well. And I actually started my Instagram account over quarantine as well, so that was a really great experience for me. And online schools, I mean, I'm doing online school right now and it's a little bit boring, I'm not gonna lie, but it I'm holding up well in there. Like I'm getting my work done easier and it's still been a pretty easy experience for me.
No, I understand. And, for an example, not to put words in your mouth, but it looked like you were going to say it sucks. In a way, it's nice to get up, have a routine, get out of the house. You don't want to be in the house 24/7 because you get stir crazy. Even about like, oh, well, your mom probably say to you, oh, let's go into another room. And it's not just a room. Make it whatever you want. It's like, well, still in the house. It's not like we're going anywhere. So it's good that, hey, you don't have to travel. You don't have to go into any snowstorms or anything, no 2 hour delays. But at the same time, it's kind of like that mentality of, well, what am I going to do? It's funny that people always said, I wish I can stay home and do absolutely nothing. There you go. So you kind of now you know what it's like to be home doing absolutely nothing. And it's funny now they're saying the opposite. Oh, I want to go out. I want to do places. You're never going to make people happy.
Right, yeah.
But the next one I want to ask you is, what were some of your favorite school activities and what subjects and classes did you hate?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna start with my favorite activities in school. So I'm in seventh grade right now, but last year in sixth grade, whenever I like first started middle school, I like went through it pretty well. Like I had a really great experience. I would have to say one of my favorite activities is I really loved doing theater class there because I got to do because none of my friends from school ever did theater, so when they signed up for it just for fun, I got to do acting with them, and I just thought that was super fun, and we just got to do scenes together, and it was awesome. Um, and yeah, I also really loved, I did dance class there as well. And same thing. I didn't sorry, stuttering. I didn't go to dance very much like with my school friends. So, once again, I got to do dance with them for once, and I kind of just got to retrace my steps and learn, more and expand more and more simple things like, that I wouldn't think much of. I This was my chance to sort of practice with that more. I would have to say things I didn't really hate anything about school, but like I would have to say things I just didn't like too much. um, I'm not good at science, so I'm not very good at science. I mean, I like still managed to get a good grade in that class, but it was always harder for me. So science was definitely not one of my strongest subjects. It was just harder for me to remember everything. We did like this periodic table unit, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am so overwhelmed right now. But yeah, I made through it. It went pretty well still, and I would say that was the only thing that well. I mean, I guess it would kind of go the same for math, honestly. I still did pretty good at math. It was a little bit harder for me it was like a challenge, but same with my friends, and we kind of just all helped each other out, and that was a bit more of an easier um, thing for me. But I would have to say, really everything else I just really liked, and yeah, in general, I just really like school, which I know that not a lot of kids are saying that right now, but even now, I still really like school. I'm still kind of getting through it. I mean, at the beginning of the year when we first started online school, I'm just like, oh, I hate school. I don't like this. But now I'm really just getting used to it, and I'm just like, oh, I like school. And it also helps that I'm going to BLMA right now, which is my dance place that the place I go to for dance. My dance studio is called Body Lab, and stands for Body Lab Mind Academy, and I go there every Monday and Wednesday, and it's basically where I go there and do online school, and I do dance in between my classes, and I do it like on my breaks and things like that, and it's been really fun and like so worth going there. It's just made my online school experience like 10 times better.
No, absolutely. I was just thinking now I'm feeling old. When I was in middle school, what did I like? I didn't really care for I didn't really care for changing in the locker room because I liked my privacy. Gym class, it had some parts where I really liked, some parts I didn't really care for. I liked art because I just liked, for hey, here's a piece of paper, you just draw on it, and then you start talk about the history and the primary colors. Don't get me started on that. I still don't know all the primary colors. A little bit, and secondary colors, stuff like that. It's like, can you just give me like a piece of paper and let me draw? That is art. Use your imagination. Don't throw all this useless crap at me. And I'm like, yeah, Leonardo and Michelangelo. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's nice. Can I draw now? It's stuff like that. But what about dance that you like?
I just think dance is a really great way of like doing body movement. I think that is one of the most powerful ways to tell a story, honestly. Like, sometimes words, when words aren't enough, you sing a song. And the way I think of it, whenever a song isn't enough, you dance and you sort of create a visual. And I think that's really powerful. And I just really love to do that. And I think it's one of the most important elements of telling a story.
No, I agree. Now, on a scale 1 to 10, do you want to be a professional dancer or do you do it for fun?
Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, you said?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I would say I definitely want to do professional dance whenever I get older as like part of my like hopefully future acting career. So I would say about yes. So as I was saying, I really wanted this to be a huge part of like my hopefully future acting career. And so yeah, I would definitely say that it would be about definitely a 10 on the scale of 1 to 10 for like how much I wanted to be a professional dancer. And I really haven't been dancing for that long, but I feel like in this time I've just been working so hard and doing all these auditions, and I feel like I've just come such a long way in dance. And it's definitely become a huge part of me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I really just danced only because I really thought I had to, because of, if I wanted to be an actress one day, I really thought, well, I have to know how to dance. And it really was just like that for a while. But ever since, around this year, I've really just connected with dance more, and it's just become a huge part of me, and I just realized what dance actually means to me. And like I said before, dance is an art. It's a way to tell a story. So yeah, I definitely want to pursue professional dance.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm going to ask you two more questions, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break. And now the first one I want to ask you is, do you think that you came a long way from being like a newbie from dancing to being a professional? Like, I give you an example. Like in the beginning, did you ever cause any pile ups or anything before you misstep?
Right. Yeah, like I said before, I've definitely come a long way from there. Um, I would say that starting up in dance, I really just didn't have that confidence. I already knew that I should have started doing dance a really long time ago. And I kind of look at it now and I'm, just thinking, yeah, oh my gosh, how far I've come so far. But, in the process of that, I'll talk more about that. So really, in the beginning, I really just wasn't confident. I was so easily intimidated. I always thought everyone in the room was always better than me and I was always the worst, which is a terrible mindset because no one is better than the other. Everyone has something different to bring to the table. And that's definitely how I look at it now. And as it kept going, I realized, oh, I was getting good, but I'm not good enough. That ended up becoming my mindset, which is also another terrible mindset. And and then sorry. And then I ended up moving up more to, like, I guess, higher levels, and I ended up going to different dance places and different dance auditions, and I started working more. And with my dance teachers, they even told us this. There's no reason to be intimidated, and they told us those messages, and I always carry those messages with me. Like I said before, everyone has something different to bring to the table. Everyone's different. Everyone has something new is basically what I'm trying to say. And I think, no one's the best. We're all amazing dancers. We're all amazing at what we do. We chose to do this, and that's one of the most important choices. And now we're here. And I think that's obviously something very powerful that they told us. And, looking at it now, I look up to many people who are dancing before me as brilliant, amazing examples. But I don't think they're better than me, and I don't think I'm better than them. And I think that we all should learn from each other, especially because that's another reason why we're all here. We're taking a class. We're here to learn. We're not expected to be perfect. And even if you think you don't have more to learn, I think there's still plenty to learn.
No, I agree with you. And to answer your question that you were talking about, you are your own worst enemy. That's something that everyone struggles with.
Yeah,
No,
definitely.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with it. I was going to say that my voice teacher once told me that we are all our own worst critic, which is basically what you were saying, because I still like to critique myself a lot, and I still have those moments where and I still have my moments where I have that mindset, but I just keep reminding myself of these things, and it just always makes me feel so much better. But sorry,
No, I
continue.
agree. Now, the last question I was going to ask you is, what are some of your well, anything can happen live. And the other thing I want to ask you is, what were some of your favorite activities, like during gym class or dance class? Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
Oh yeah, my dance class, it's definitely a bit more beginner. So we never really did things that advanced, but a lot of times we would be experimented with different styles of dance. We would go through different units, and some of them were things that I really just never tried before. And I thought it was so interesting just to, even if it was just beginning moves, obviously, I just thought it was so interesting. And like at one point last year we learned different styles of ballroom dance. And so like, we learned, things like jitterbug and all of that and, waltz, and it was just super fun. And I just really got to learn something new. And then we did like, a tap unit and a ballet unit, and it was all just super fun. And right now in dance, we are working on like doing sort of more of like a musical theater type dance, and we're going to present it to the school. I don't know if we're going to do it in person or if we're going to do it virtually. It really depends, seeing how many people are actually going to be in it. But we're going to do like a compilation of doing different musical theater dance to present to the school, and it's like pretty much for like 7th and 8th grade. It's really fun and it's super interesting, and I've never really like seen something like that happen before, and I just think it's super creative that my school came up with that. And I'm really happy that we incorporate more musical theater because I don't feel like a lot of schools do that as much anymore. It's mainly like the high schools. So like the middle school now incorporating that is I find is really awesome.
No, absolutely. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I got to ask you a little bit about your acting career and about social media when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and we're back from the commercial break. First thing I want to plug is social media with everything that you accomplish in your life because you are a professional actress and singer, and of course, while we're talking about being a professional dancer. Do you think Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do these formats dictate if people should work with you? And you have a big fan base already. So, what are some of your secrets for getting and creating some of your big fan bases?
Um, Well, I really think it's important to, I mean, of course, just be careful what you post as well. I mean, I think definitely I think definitely, I mean, obviously don't just like keep a bunch of secrets, but yes, just definitely be careful for what you do post. I mean, I always think it's important to just stay positive. I never like to post anything negative on my Instagram account because that's the last thing we need right now. And I think it's really important just to spread positivity because I notice on my Instagram page, I notice a lot of people just get really happy from seeing such positive posts, and I love to, see and hear that people are happy. And I feel like that's really important. I mean, don't obviously sacrifice everything to make someone happy, but just post the positive moments. Sort of things like that. That's probably like my biggest secret to things like that. Um, and I would say otherwise, always like stay open to all the activities that you're doing. It's because like oftentimes someone will want to hear about like some interesting activity that you're doing. Like I post about all my performing arts activities on there, and people seem to really like that and always be very intrigued. And I think I would definitely be intrigued to hear about all the activities someone's doing, and I would really say that those are just like two super big tips and really just be creative. I think there's so many pages out there. You really want your Instagram page to stand out and show something different. And, like I said before, bring something different to the table. So definitely just be creative, especially.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings up next question I want to ask you. Now, let's go to your acting career. Who influenced you to become a professional actress?
Oh, wow. Um, that's a really good question. Man, okay. Well, it was such a long time ago that I've done acting. I really, to be fair, it just started as like me doing an acting class. And then I realized I like actually really like this. And so people who kind of influenced me, I wouldn't say anyone in specific, but like I've always really loved, oh, well, I mean, as I got older, at least, I've always really loved like um live action Disney actors and actresses. I always thought that they like because of how animated they still acted. I always thought that I kind of like got influenced by them a little bit from all like these Disney musicals that I've done in the past. Um and as I get older, it's really just any actors that just sort of stand out to me in movies, and especially whenever I go to see musicals, there's always those actors and actresses that stand out to me. I mean, actors and actresses I really look up to. I definitely really love the work that Ben Platt has done, and I really love Philippa Sue. Lin-Manuel Miranda was fantastic. He's fantastic. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows about him. Enough said. Um, Adina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, definitely. Um, just all those people I just find so inspiring and how far they've come. And I really, and not to mention my friends that I do acting with as well, I feel like they've just become a really big influence on me because we can all learn from each other.
No, absolutely. And a couple of your friends are actually been on my show. One of them, it's called
Ella,
Ella Doors.
I'm so sorry. I don't know if I know who you're talking about.
Don't worry about it. The other one is like, oh, there's like, I was just looking at your Instagram, so I was just looking at the names, and we're like, oh,
Oh,
well, we have well, like four people in common. But there's all upcoming actors and everything. I'm bad at names, so I'm not gonna go and butcher their names.
yeah.
But what are you more passionate about, acting or being a dancer?
I would say only because mainly because of experience, I'm a little bit more passionate about acting. Like I said before, I haven't been dancing as long. I'm really just super passionate about both. But if I had to pick, I would probably say acting, um, because of I have more experience with that. Um, but but yeah, I would definitely have to say acting and yeah, but sorry, I'm just trying to think of like different examples that I could give on why I would say acting. But yeah, it's just I knew that I know that like from my very first play that I've done, which fun fact was The Little Mermaid, and I was Flounder. I was like 9 years old in that one. But yeah, I was definitely struggling a little bit more with the dance because I hadn't had a whole lot of dance experience. I don't even know if I was taking like real classes then, but I was definitely doing a lot more acting and I just felt so much more passionate about that and so much more confident at the time. I've always felt really confident about my acting.
No, absolutely. The same thing with me and my talk show. I've been doing this for 7.5 years. When I first started, it was really bad. And over the years, you see a process, and this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So you can see, from the very good to the very bad. Listen, it's the good, the bad, the ugly. So all my episodes are not going to be, hit out of the park and they say, oh, well, that's the best interview I ever did. All my episodes are like on a scale 1 to 10, like a 7 or up. Some interviews are kind of like, all right, you didn't really go as planned. But you don't take it personally because every time you do an episode or sit down and talk to someone, it's a learning experience. You see life through how they see it. Plus, you make a new friend out of it. So you always look at things as not a competition, but more of a learning experience. And that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the never cause I want to ask you, now we're wrapping up the show, is how can people follow you on social media? Are you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
I'm on Instagram. That's really just like my performing arts account, and it's Aria on stage, just like all one word. Um, all lowercase, nothing fancy about it, just Aria on stage. My mom came up with that username, so thank her for that. And yeah, it would mean a lot if you would go and follow me because I definitely feel like I could really make a big influence on there. And especially to younger actors and actresses that may be following me, or maybe even older too, could get an influence off me. And I would love to get an influence off them because I do love to follow back other people that I see. Um, because I feel like I could learn so much from them just for looking on their social media.
No, absolutely. My last question is for you. When I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first honest opinion? What made you say yes? And after being a guest, how do you feel now? And what do you recommend it to other people?
Right. So when I first heard about this, I mean, my mom didn't like refer to who it was. She just said this guy is wanting to interview you, and I'm just like, wait, really? Me? Why? Like that? I'm not kidding. I literally just like, why would you want to interview me? I mean, I know that's not really a great thought to have, but I just didn't think, out of all people, I didn't really think I would stand out enough to be really interviewed. So I really think it means a lot that you decided to. Um, and so when I heard about this, I really just did just get pretty excited because I love to meet new people, and it was really great to meet you, by the way. And I just think that, and I just thought that, to even get interviewed, to get questions asked about myself, I feel like I could almost get to know myself a little bit better too.
No, absolutely. People always ask me, why did you pick me? Why that? And the truth is, I look at people's profiles and I look at their pictures and I sit there, what do they have to offer? And I read what they do. Either an actress, actors, I'm like, I mean, it sounds like an oxymoron. I give me an example. Like I look up, I have a script. And I'm like, okay, acting, why do you become an actor? Why do you have this and that? I'm like, okay, let's remove acting, put dancer, remove that CEO. So it's the same. The questions never change. It's the same set of questions. Only like for an example, it said, if you are a professional actress, what are some of your biggest strengths? Scratch that. If you are a professional dancer, what are some of your biggest strengths or weaknesses? So you tweak it a little bit to make it fit. Oh well, I'm an artist. Okay, what are some of your biggest strengths as being a professional artist? So you're pretty much tuning it to what the person does, and you can always size somebody up by their pictures. Sometimes it's not really a smart idea because they'll never judge a book by its cover, but it's always say, you know what? I came across this profile for a reason. I want to give this person an opportunity. And I love giving people opportunities. Sometimes that bit me in the ass because for me, like, oh, well, great opportunity. But for them, they're like, didn't really care for it. So you give it like a grain of salt. You look at everything 50-50. Hey, you know what? I have something to offer. Make a new friend, short part a good message. So you're either going to connect with certain people and you're not. So you're not going to, number thing I want to tell you, never set yourself up for failure. Don't try to please everyone because you're not going to please everyone. And never do anything half-ass. If you're very passionate about something, do it to 110%. Don't have the attitude of, I'm going to do it now. I really don't want to, but do it because it feels right and you enjoy doing it. Just don't do it so like, I don't have anything better to do. So, hey, I'm going to do this. Don't have that mindset. It's a horrible mindset to do. That being said, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having me as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part two down the road.